Howdy everyone, this is LockNutz, and you're watching a map tour of the Western Wilds by ALiEN JiM. Hopefully you'll stick around to see what happens. Howdy, 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 how are you guys doing today? Oh my goodness, I tell you what, today we get to go on a map tour of the Western Wilds by ALiEN JiM. This little bad mamma jamma is 136.64 megabytes to download and is very cross-platform friendly. Now, we're going to go over a lot of little interesting features on this map tour. There's some neat little things to go on. A couple little notes from the map maker. This map, like No Man's Land, does have those removable signs where you cut them down and you'll have stuff be removed. Like trees, rocks, there's power lines you can have removed, and there's water in the streams you can get removed. There are 20 collectibles, and they are gold nuggets, and the reason why we got gold nuggets for collectibles is because there is a gold production facility. Yes, you heard it, gold production, you betcha. Oh man, so we'll go ahead and take a look at all of that jazz here in just a little bit. But we have gone and started this gameplay off on new farmer mode. That way you know what you get when you start off on new farmers mode. So with that being said, let's get the show on the road and check out what you'll start with. Alright then, taking a look at what you got here, you start off with one Steyr tractor, not too shabby. You start off with one Rothless Mesh Nova, and that does come with one header, so that's darn cool. Fork trucks, you do start off with one fork truck. That I'll show you where that guy is. It's not at the main farm, but you do start off with that guy. You do start off with this pickup truck, red, as you can kind of see the front of it by me. You start off with one half pipe trailer, not too shabby. Plows, you start off with one Pottinger plow. Cultivators, one Horsch cultivator. Seeder, you start off with the Nordstein seeder. Fertilizer spreader, you start off with the Amazon's fertilizer spreader. Now this just shoots off fertilizer, so if you need to do lime, you're going to have to look at getting something else as well. Weights, you have one weight on here, and then you do have one belt system operator here. This again is not at the main farm. I'll show you where that ends up. Now, one little thing before we jump off of the implements you have here, there are a couple specialized vehicles or implements on this particular map. You do have this lizard trailer right here. It has the capability of hauling methane, along with this Joskins trailer as well. They both have the capability of hauling methane. On top of this one does virtually all liquids, and this one does methane and water. So keep that in mind. That's what you start off with on the map here, equipment wise, and with those couple other little nuggets. So let's take a look at the map itself. And here is the map, and as you can see, it has a nice checkerboard pattern for going ahead and purchasing plots. There are a couple of placeables around here, and selling and buying points. These locations out here that are house locations, they are lookout towers, fire lookout towers. So that's something kind of neat that you'll see on here. You can go ahead and get yourself up in there, see what the lay of the land looks like. Pretty darn slick. Couple sell points down here. This fuel station over here. Over here is where the lime production and gold production is. So that's kind of neat. You got lime and gold production going on here, along with the rest of the BGA sort of implements that are kind of go along with that. On this side over here, you have a gold hut. We'll take a little bit closer look at the gold hut when we get onto it. But taking a look at the farmland that you start off with, this plot you don't start with. I bought this, and there's some stuff I want to show you on there, but you don't start with this. You do start off with this one plot up here, plot 3. Decent sized plot, has your house and all sorts of stuff on it, plus a nice chunk of land. Prices, $85,000 for all of these center locations. I guess is the best way to say it. Once you get out towards the outside and the plots are not as regular shaped, they're a little bit shorter, a little bit narrower, prices will fluctuate. But you have to figure the base price is based off of this $85,000 for this particular size plot, and everything else in between. If it's a little bit shorter, a little bit narrower, it does get jacked down in price. Now, one thing you will notice here, I'll back up off of this really quick here. When you go ahead and you see this, AI routes, land borders. Okay, your black lines are the land borders, and the AI routes are your roads. The AI, I've tried it out from a couple different locations. As long as you are on the route here, the white lines, AI has the capability of finding its way around. So once you start getting off of that, it's not going to work out as well. And it does have all the cuttable sign locations, which we'll make sure we go ahead and check out. I'll try and hit every last one of them so you can see what they all do, but I will show you what all these cuttable sign locations do. With that being said, let's get down on the ground and start taking a peek at things. All right, everyone. One of the things I want to go about doing right off the bat is I want to turn the map on the corner so that you guys can go ahead and see what's going on. You can follow along with me. Now, I did take a look at the placeables here, and it does appear that there is one, I guess, customized placeable. What was it? Farmhouse, that's right. You do have this farmhouse right here. I don't remember seeing this on any other map, so I'd assume this is kind of a custom for this one. Other than that, I didn't see anything extra or special on there, so keep that in mind. We'll hop in the truck as we'll do a little bit of a tour around this northern selling point, congregation of people, if you will. And the way it's kind of set up, this is kind of neat because you can actually somewhat sort of drive off the map, if you will. I don't know if that's the right way of saying it, but essentially what's going on here is that you have your main road right up in here, and where all of this kind of takes place is behind a farming co-op, or whatever you want to call it, a seed distributor or farmer's market, so kind of keep that in mind. Now up over here you do have several different sell points. So you got your dairy right here, you got there are places for going ahead and selling all your production sort of things up here. Pretty darn slick. And up over here you do have one of two sawmills, and I wanted to go ahead and show you this because you come over here to purchase this. $20,000, not too shabby. That is really cheap for a sawmill. I like that a lot. Super cool, nice little setup we got going on here. We'll go over this way because this will take us near a couple of the signposts to go ahead and take a peek at. Now, one thing I want you guys to kind of keep in mind as we're going on this travel, you're going to notice there are a couple little things that I'm going to try and hit on. We'll see how it ends up turning out. So over here, they got two things. You have one, cutting the signpost with a chainsaw will permanently remove all power lines. Okay. And you got this little nugget right here. Now I'm going to turn this up on the screen there, so once you get close, you can kind of hear the humming. You can turn the humming on and off, depending on whether it bothers you or not. So kind of keep that in mind if you want to go ahead and change that. Let's go ahead and remove that really quick. Towards the end of the map tour, what I'll go ahead and do is I'll go ahead and cut all these signposts down so that you can see what the map looks like with none of the extra little bits and bobs on. So now heading out of the main selling point, or not the main selling point, like the main shop area, you have a fork in the road right here. Fork in the road, we come up to the two classic signs. Cut this, get rid of all the trees. Cut this, get rid of all the rocks. Booyah. Not too shabby. And we'll head off towards our starting farm location. Now, one of the things that I am going to end up doing here is I'm going to end up wandering around on the map, off the roads and all that jazz. But for starters, we're going to kind of stick on it. Now, we're going to take a slight little detour because I found this pretty close off, right off the bat here. And I wanted to make sure I give you guys the opportunity to see this. Oh, look, there's stuff down here. What's over here? I'm not too sure. Head on over this way. Booyah. That right there is a gold nugget, and this is one of the gold nugget locations. So I wanted to go about doing this so we could demonstrate. Let's pick this up. $50,000 for every last gold nugget that you have the capability of finding. So there are 20 gold nuggets. That's a bunch of cash. So kind of keep your eyes open for all those little gold nuggets out there. A lot of the... I have found a couple of them. Some of them are in obvious spots. Some of them are, well, kind of tricky to get to. You gotta really dig and dive to try and find them. So coming up on over here, as you can see where your starting farm location is, it's not too shabby at all. It's a nice little spot. It's out in the middle of nowhere. You have enough room to go ahead and throw down some implements, kind of like no man's land. There's not a lot of space where your farm actually is, but you can kind of go from there. And you own all of this. Well, not all of this, because there's boundaries and whatnot. Not too shabby, though. Not too shabby. One of the things that you're going to see here, this is when we're doing this map tour, is the map is, well, it's flat. It's a flat map. And I'll be honest with you, one of my first gut impressions of this is we have a flat map here with some trees and some rocks, and that's it. It really does give you that opportunity to go ahead and have a sandbox style of setup where you can go ahead and do what you want. But I think there's just enough stuff in here to kind of break up all the, well, potential flatness with some entertaining values, I guess is a good way to go about saying it. And we're going to head on over here because this is where there is that gold hut I want to stop by and show you. So right here, this is to get rid of all the water in the streams. You don't want water in the stream? Got that sign down. It's your choice. It's 100% your choice. Now, I haven't tested that out. I don't know if it drains this lake. From what I understand, it just does the stream itself, so I'm going to kind of look at it that way. Heading on up over here, we do have another sell point. You do have your fork truck over here, an electric charging station. This is where your other grain elevator is, so it's right here, or probably going ahead and getting up into that guy right there. Now, as I said, there were gold nuggets on here that are collectibles, and if you come over here to this gold hut, as you can see, you have a map. It looks just like the map that we're in. And if you take a look at this little note here, I don't know if you can read it or not, but the red pins are gold nuggets that have not been found, and the green pins are ones that have been collected. So we found this one up here, and I collected one of those ones over here before when I was taking a peek. So kind of take a look at that, and that'll give you hints on where to find all this stuff. Now, that clock right there, that does accurately describe the time in game. So, again, pretty neat. Pretty neat. Kind of like that. Got your nice little lake over here. You can climb around up on here. There is a gold nugget out here on this bollard or pylon, whatever you want to call it. I can't get it. I don't know how. Comment down below. Let me know if you can figure out how to get that guy. I tried swimming out there and it doesn't just let you grab it, so not sure. Not too sure. Alright, let's hop in here and we'll kind of drive back around and keep ourselves rocking and rolling. We'll be heading back off-road here in just a second. Nice little setup right there. Pretty darn slick. Kind of like it. As I was saying before, you know, when you're taking a look at this map, I initially was, boy, this is just flat with trees. I'm not understanding it, but you have enough trees out here where you can do forestry. You have enough space out here where you can go ahead and accomplish a lot of the things that you want to accomplish. Whether doing multiplayer or trying to, well, go at it alone. Try and make a go at it. You do have that opportunity to kind of build the image that you want to do. You want to go ahead and build a farming utopia, a ranching paradise, You name it, you can go about doing it here. And I think that's kind of the moral of the story with a lot of these, well, sandbox style maps. Now I'm going to see if I can go up here and take a peek at this. I had trouble climbing up the stairs before. Yeah, you can get up there. Okay, perfect. I had problems before, so I just wanted to make sure. But we'll make sure we stop over here and take a look at all those locations. As for forestry, though, since we're driving around here in the woods, as you can see, there's a lot of very mature trees over here. Not too shabby. You should be able to make a pretty penny off of all of these trees, if that's what you so choose to do. Not too bad. Also, it gives you that opportunity where if you want to go ahead and clear the forest and make your own farmland, you can. Right there, that little trigger, that's another one of those ones to turn off the humming if you so choose to. Heading on up over here, this is the other, and this location right here just has the selling option. This is not a production facility, so if you're closer over here and you just want to sell your wood, not too shabby at all. Heading down over here, you got your gas station and all that stuff. Now, this will probably be like the last thing that we really dive into when it comes to little bits and bobs on here. But keep your eye open for these little exclamation points, because if you go ahead and click on some of the exclamation points, you'll find out that they actually take you to some pretty neat locations. Now, if you go ahead, come here. If you think about it, it seems kind of crazy. It seems kind of simple, but you know what? Sometimes when you go ahead and you're a little nosy and you want to figure some stuff out, you can lead to a little bit of cash. So that's pretty darn slick right there. So when you're out and about and you're wandering around, if you see exclamation points, don't be afraid to go ahead and take a peek at them. Down here we do have a couple watering holes to go ahead and fill up your tanks for anything that you may or may not need. We'll head back out into the wilderness here really quick. I probably am gonna just drive along the road right here. This is kind of weird. Normally I don't drive on the roads. Normally I like to drive across the fields and show you what the fields look like and the elevation changes and what you're going to end up needing if you need to potentially do harvesting or anything like that. You need to upsize your plows, upsize anything like that. This map here, unless you do terraforming, you're not going to have to do any of that. This is all completely flat. All you have to really do is just get out there and rock and roll with whatever the heck it is that you want to. So we are stopping by over here, and this is the main, well, not the main. This is the main abandoned ranch that's here and available to you. Now, this place is run down. It's beaten up. You have an abandoned house right there. You have an abandoned chicken coop. You have an abandoned manure and slurry tank. I think this one's for cows or pigs. You have all of this abandoned equipment on here. It is what it is. It's something that's been lost to time. It's all gone. It is what it is. So for this place here, this chunk of land right here, you do have the options of cutting down a couple more things. You do have the options of removing all the power lines from this area, removing all the loose scrap from this area, and removing all the trees from this area. So if that's something that you want to do, you can go ahead and clean this whole area up and kind of make it your own. Now, when you do come over here like this, though, for being able to sell this stuff, you can actually go ahead and sell this stuff. Shoot, we're going to go like this. So you can click on that. So you can get 9 grand for some of this over here. 700. It's not much that you can get for it, but if you really want to, you can go ahead and sell some of this stuff. One thing that is kind of unfortunate, this is one of my gut reaction things. It'd be nice if there was a function or a something to cut down. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Some sort of repair service that you could drop, I don't know, $500,000. Whatever the price would be. and then you go ahead and all of the stuff gets repaired. Because some of the stuff is kind of neat. It's not in-game equipment. So in that aspect of things, it would be kind of neat to have these different animal pens here. That's not the case, so we're just going to keep rocking and rolling with what we got here. Yep, as we go ahead, we head on out of this. You can go ahead and see it's a nice little vista, if you will. Not too shabby, not too shabby. This area that you see right here where it's all just grass with shrubs and all this jazz, this is what you're going to find when you're not in any of the forestry areas. It really does kind of duplicate like an open range or a plateau. Good place for raising cattle or something like that. But then, like I said, you do have the option for forestry here, and there are lots and lots of trees to have at it. So let's kind of run around over this way here like this, kind of take the back way into the BGA area. And I'm just going to call it the BGA area just because that's pretty much what it is. You got the BGA over here, and it's kind of like a secondary production site, I guess, if you will. Now, heading on over to here, now this is where you guys have probably been waiting to see. What is this going to look like? We have two new production facilities that are over here. One is the gold, and one is the lime. So pretty darn slick. You got your lime facility right here, which the lime facility really isn't all that expensive either. $20,000 to go ahead and purchase. That's pretty cool. And then the gold, this was $20,000 as well. And as you can see, I have one pallet of gold right here. You betcha. So you have 1,920 pieces of gold on a pallet. So that's not too shabby at all. It's 1.2 tons, or 1.2, 2.5 tons right there. You're not picking that up unless you have super strength on. So what does it take to go about doing this? Well, let's go ahead and look. So this is the formula that you're going to need to go ahead and make gold. Essentially what you got is you got 1,000 stones, some water and methane, all to kind of fire the process up, and gold slowly trickles on out. Now you can fit 8,000 liters of water and methane in here. That's what it'll take. So you'll probably, depending on what you're doing, you may end up getting yourself in a position where you need to refill one of these a little faster than the other. It does go through stone pretty quick. I had about 50,000 liters in here. I'm going to assume, now without looking for sure, that this actually holds about 100,000 liters to 125,000 liters. I did not check at any of the XML or any of the files or anything like that. Just from what I'm filling up, that's kind of what it looked like. So that's what we're going on with right there. Not too shabby. And one of the cool things about gold here is that if you go ahead and take a look at the price for this, it's not too shabby. It really isn't too shabby. $15,000 for 1,000 liters, I think. 1,000 pieces. That ain't too bad at all. So in July, and this is nice. It does have a fluctuating scale on here. Right now, we're at the very tail end of this, so that's not too bad. What I'm going to go ahead and do really quick, guys, is I'm going to take this pallet to where it needs to go. We're going to sell it, and I'll catch up with you in just a second. All right, now that I've officially destroyed the shocks on my truck here, we'll take the gold on out. Yes, I'm using super strength to see what we get here with this. And it does appear that we're making a fair chunk of change. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. And as you guys seen there, I did stick in that little vision of what the map would look like. $30,000, not too shabby. So it is $1,000 or per 1,000 pieces is what that price is. you can make a good chunk of change off of that. As you can see, I did stick in that little bit where I cut down all the signs and kind of flew around a little bit and took a peek at it. So with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at what the map looks like from above. All right, everyone, here we go. Let's go ahead and take a look at this as we go up. Not too shabby, not too shabby. There are a couple tall towers over here, that's for darn sure. But ultimately, you know, you are looking at a fairly decent sized map, enough space to go ahead and do a lot of the things that you want to go about doing. As you can see, like I said, you got your starting farm over here. It's not too shabby. A lot of vastness, lot of vastness. Like I said towards the beginning of this here, when I first seen this map, it was just a large, flat map. But like I said, as I took a look at this and kind of dove into it, there's enough stuff in here to really make it seem like, you know, it's not just a flat chunk of land. There are bits and bobs, there are hidden nuggets, if you will, all over the place to go ahead and take a peek at, look around, and investigate. I think you definitely could go ahead and have a great time on this map, playing with friends, creating your own personal world. It really does seem like a decent place to go about doing that. So go ahead, make sure you download this one. Guys, download this. Let me know what you think. Comment down below. Let me know what you think about this particular map. Is this just another No Man's Land, or is this something new? Is this something different? Does the gold make you feel jazzy? I know it makes me feel kind of jazzy. Gives me something to do with all those rocks. One of the things I do want to point out here is that there is a particular thing on this. If you come on here really quick, one of the things you can go ahead and do is landscaping painting. There is this thing to go ahead and paint a plowed state on the ground. If you paint the plowed state on the ground, you cannot make rocks. And if you want gold, don't do that. Don't do that at all. Maybe you'll become a rock farmer, plowing, gathering rocks, you know, doing all those little bits and bobs that make you feel good on the inside. I don't know. The choice is completely up to you. If you guys are liking what you're hearing, liking what you're seeing, go ahead and smash that like button. Help the channel out. Hit that subscription. It really does mean a lot. Go ahead and have that notification bell on and have it set to all. That way you know when this and other great videos are coming out by myself. Go ahead and make sure you do comment down below. That does help out a ton. Share this with somebody who's into that No Man's Land field type map, or they like gold. Share this with somebody who likes gold. I think that's a better option. I tell you what, guys, until I see you out here in the wild western wilds, thanks for stopping by.